Congratulations to Kanye West, who is now officially a billionaire, reports Forbes. And it actually wasn't music money that did it. It was money from his licensed Yeezy sneaker line. In a couple of minutes, I'll tell you about another artist who's trying to move some licensed merch by performing in a very virtual arena. Today is Monday, April 27th. It's the current music news. I'm Jay Gabler. Jade is out today. In the world where everything seems to be changing, it is nice, kind of comforting to know that some things are just staying the same. Case in point, the Beatles Rolling Stones rivalry, still a thing. Yes, still happening. The latest round got kicked off by comments that Sir Paul McCartney made during an interview on the Howard Stern show. He called in several days ago, and initially this interview mostly made headlines for the fact that Sir Paul, who is famously a vegan, said that Chinese markets where freshly slaughtered animals are sold need to be shut down. But Howard Stern also asked Paul McCartney about the Beatles versus Stones rivalry. He was like, come on, Beatles were best, right? And, Paul laughs and eventually says, well, basically the Stones are a blues band. The Beatles had more influences. Even Keith Richards said, you're lucky you have 4 singers. So yeah, Paul McCartney is still Team Beatles. Well, then Mick Jagger did an interview with Zane Lowe, and Zane Lowe had to bring this up, and Mick Jagger also kind of laughs about it, but says, well, the big difference is that the Beatles, they toured some, they played some big shows, some of which Mick Jagger was at, but they never got to go on a proper arena tour the way the Stones have been doing for decades and decades and decades. He said they never really got to hit the road with their own sound system, with standardized venues, all of this, and he said, unbelievably luckily, the Stones are still playing in stadiums today. Well, theoretically. But I do hope and feel like at the other end of this, we will see the Stones back on the road under that giant lips and tongue logo. DJ, label head, and sound designer Mike Huckaby has died at age 54 due to complications from COVID-19, Pitchfork reports. This is Mike Huckaby with a Y, not to be confused with the politician. He was an integral part of the house and techno scene in Detroit, where that music was born. He had a quarter-century-plus career as a recording and performing artist, and he was an essential connector and educator on that scene. Mike Himes, who's the founder of a record store that became a scene hub where Huckaby worked in the 90s, said that Mike Huckaby was, quote, a truly humble ambassador for the music he loved. We've all been watching live stream performances where artists maybe are sitting in their living room or their dining room and strumming a guitar on a keyboard, playing live for us virtually. Some artists are getting even more virtual, performing concerts in completely virtual spaces where crowds can safely gather because they're not actually gathered. Case in point, last Thursday, hip-hop star Travis Scott performed a concert in the massively multiplayer online game Fortnite. Rolling Stone decided to send a reviewer, and he had a terrible time. The writer was named Charles Holmes, and he said maybe the most frustrating thing, so he's not a Fortnite player normally. He started the game to attend this concert, and he said he didn't realize you keep getting shot in Fortnite. He said people kept shooting him in the head, shooting him in the face, and so his virtual character would die and would then get reincarnated. But you can see where this is not the kind of experience that might put you in a headspace to really relax and enjoy a concert. Then he said it was a little bit hard to find the virtual venue. He somehow had to parachute out of a bus to get there. But eventually he did get there. He saw the show. He said it was about a 10-minute show. There was a lot of branded apparel on Travis Scott's virtual character. And after the show, of course, you had an opportunity to buy that merch, which included a Travis Scott Fortnite Nerf gun. So not the greatest experience for this particular reviewer, but it was a pretty successful show. Apparently 12 million people saw Travis Scott perform in Fortnite. That's about the population of the city of Moscow. And streams of some of Travis Scott's hits jumped as much as 50% around the time of this show. And this is an artist who already has a lot of streams. So it's a safe bet we're going to see more artists performing live on Fortnite and Minecraft, maybe even Animal Crossing. Who knows? Maybe Rolling Stone won't send a reviewer next time. And that's today's music news. We'll be back with another update, so like and follow so you can be sure to catch that. And listen to The Current on your radio, on your smart speaker, on our app, on our web stream. Click on the comments. Let us know what music news stories are meaningful to you right now. Well, the UK has a new record for oldest artist ever to reach #1 on the UK's official singles chart. And this artist has blown the last record away. The previous record holder was the legendary Tom Jones, who was 68 years old when he hit #1 in 2009. The current chart-topping artist, Captain Tom Moore, is 99 years young. He is currently at #1 in the UK with his version of You'll Never Walk Alone. And The Weeknd, who was bumped out of #1, a mere kid at 30 years old, actually encouraged people to download and stream You'll Never Walk Alone. He wanted to be bumped out of #1. He got his wish, and it's for a good cause. You'll Never Walk Alone is a charity release, and Captain Tom Moore is joined on the recording by Michael Ball, the NHS Voices of Care choir, supporting the World War II veteran.
Walk on, walk on through the wind. Walk on through the rain. Though your dreams